Oy da Torah Yisrael Sulota Babas Yeshem Yomelake Oy da Torah Yisrael Sulota Babas Yeshem Yomelake Ya Torah Yisrael Sulota Babas Yeshem Yomelake Oy ya Torah Yisrael Sulota Babas Yeshem Yomelake Oy ya I know Oy ya I know
Moed, the Moadim LeSimcha. We are getting closer to Shmini Atzeret and Simchas Torah, and I think that each of us, each year, try to understand what's the difference between Shavuos, the day we got the Torah, and Simchas Torah. Namely, how come on Shavuos we devote our time to learn, and on Simchas Torah we devote our time to dance? And I believe the answer is that when God gave the Torah, He never intended it just to be a Shavuos experience, namely just to be an intellectual experience. God said to Moshe Rabbeinu again and again, "V'limadetem otam u'shmartem la'asotam." You shall learn it and you shall fulfill it. Namely, if the Torah says that it's a mitzvah to help your fellow Jew in the middle of the war, to save them from enemies that are trying to destroy them, as the Rambam codifies when he tries to define what a milchemet mitzvah is, Ezrat Yisrael miyat tsar, he didn't intend for you to just learn the sugiyas and Masechet Sota and to understand the difference between what's an optional war versus a mandatory war, but rather to actually do it, to be trained, to put on a gun, and when necessary, yes, to shoot an enemy. That's the difference between Shavuos and Simchas Torah. Shavuos is a time where we receive the Torah. It was new to us, so we spend our time learning it and to see what we're supposed to do. But Simchas Torah is actually following an entire month, practically, in which not only did we keep the routine laws of the Torah, but many sophisticated laws of the Torah. Shofar on Rosh Hashanah is not easy. You have to make sure that the Tekiah before the middle sound, be it a shvarim, a trua, or a shvarim trua, is as long as that middle sound. You have to make sure that the shofar you hold in your hands is a kosher shofar. Not to mention the fact that the davening on Rosh Hashanah is not so easy to get through unless you know what you're doing. Yom Kippur, to know who's allowed to eat, who's not allowed to eat, on a day in which fasting is biblically mandated, is not a simple question. And even when you indeed allow someone sick to eat, how to eat, pachot mikishior, etc., is not simple. And the climax of it all is the holiday that we're in, the holiday of Sukkot. To buy a kosher lulav and esrog, you need to learn. And to indeed go ahead and fulfill that mitzvah properly is not easy. But above all, to have a kosher sukkah. Every ounce of the sukkah is a halacha. 3 walls, schach seems easy, but there are many sukkahs with many questions. And indeed, it's so easy to build a non-kosher sukkah unless you know what you're doing. So after going through a month of implementing not just halachos, but hard halachos, indeed the Jewish people deserve to dance with the Torah because they're doing what God wanted. A, to learn the Torah and to learn the halachot that a Jew needs to learn. And number 2, to actually implement it. So when we dance on Simchas Torah, we're not just dancing because we finished learning a year's worth of Torah readings, not to mention all the rest of the Torah learning we did all year. But more importantly, we implemented what the Torah said. And we even did it in the month in which it was even harder to implement. And this will maybe explain why is it that of all days of the year, Simchas Torah is a day in which potential violations of halacha probably happen. There are more paskins that you're allowed to add aliyahs on Yontiv, but his preference is not to add aliyahs on Yontiv, except for Simchas Torah, where we do. so we go against this preference on this day. Number 2, it is absolutely forbidden to sit down when the Torah is mobile. You can sit down when the Torah is in the ark. You can sit down when the Torah is safely on the bima. But when it's not stationary, but rather mobile, it is absolutely forbidden to sit down. And yet the Aruch HaShulchan already complained how in his community, at the turn of the 20th century, people are sitting down during Hakafos, which lasts over 2 hours in his words, while the Torah is moving around. I believe that these and other examples is just part and parcel of trying to implement the Torah. Namely, when you try to fulfill the Torah, you will inevitably make mistakes. And perhaps what you do will not be lechatchila, will not be the best possible way to do it. But that's the price that the Jewish people pay in order to fulfill God's Torah. Therefore, on Simchas Torah, every single Jew feels comfortable to dance. Not because it's simple to dance, but rather because every single Jew understands that this Torah is attainable. As Moshe said on his deathbed, Lo b'shamayim hi, it's not in the heavens, v'lo me'ever layam hi, it's not across the ocean. It is reachable. Ki karov elecha hadavar me'od, beficha ubilvavcha la asoto. It is within your reach to do. Yes, you'll make mistakes. There's a way to fix mistakes. Yes, you may mix up meat and milk by mistakes. There's protocols to follow when that happens. You might even get to shul late, and there's ways to catch up. There's a whole chapter of Shulchan Aruch just devoted to that. When fulfilling the Torah, you will make mistakes. Unlike when you just learn it. When you learn it, you understand it, great. But when you fulfill it, yes, you will make mistakes. And maybe Simchas Torah actually adding aliyahs against the advice of the Ramah is telling the Jewish people, don't stop trying to fulfill my Torah. Even if at the end it doesn't come out to be lechatchila, practice does make perfect. Every weed, it has a potential to become a flower. Namely, sour milk is actually more expensive. It's called yogurt. Sour yogurt is more expensive. It's called cheese. We can't be scared of making mistakes, but rather if we learn from them, we can actually have a much better life ahead. So indeed, as we get into Simchas Torah, I hope every Jew will feel comfortable in dancing with the Torah. Even if we make mistakes, even if things don't go exactly as the letter of the law dictates, it is absolutely within our reach to get there. And eventually, not only will our learning be perfect, our implementation will be as well.
I'm